Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're also paying our humble Dandavat Pranam to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has given us this translation and commentary of Bhagavatam. And following the guidance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we are praying to Srimati Radharani. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta told us that unless we can understand something about Radharani within the 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam, then our study has been wasted if we have not done that. Yadi seva vanchitasya ma yasya kripaya vayam labema sarvam prapnuma prayojanam damni Shri Bhagavat pade Krishna sambandhi sarvam cha yadi na janimahe tutam astadashasu sahasreshu Shlokanam Bhagavat Oktishu Radharanimna Vindamatada Nishvalam Bhagavat Adhyayanam Radhi Kaya Kripam Vina Vyartasyat Sarva Parishrama. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham, and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Radharani within the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Srimad Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Srimati Radharani, all of our efforts are in vain. So we will continue our reading of Bhagavatam today from Canto 5, the creation, the creative impetus, Chapter 9, the supreme character of Jaḍa Bharata, Text 14. Atata enam anavadya lakshanam amavrisya bhartrakarma nispatim manyamana badvarasanaya chandika griham upaninyur mudha vikashita vadana. The followers and servants of the dacoit chief considered Jaḍa Bharata to possess qualities quite suitable for a man-animal, and they decided that he was the perfect choice for sacrifice. Their faces bright with happiness, they bound him with ropes and brought him to the temple of the goddess Kali. Purport. In some parts of India, animalistic men are still sacrificed before the goddess Kali. However, such sacrifice is only performed by Sudras and dacoits. Their business is to plunder the wealthy, and to become successful, they offer an animalistic man before the goddess Kali. It should be noted that they never sacrifice an intelligent man before the goddess. In the body of a Brahmana, Bharata Maharaj appeared deaf and dumb, yet he was the most intelligent man in the world. Nonetheless, being completely surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he remained in that condition and did not protest being brought before the deity for slaughter. As we have learned from previous verses, he was very strong and could have very easily avoided being bound with ropes, but he did not do anything. He simply depended on the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his protection. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes surrender unto the Supreme Lord in this way. Marabi Rakkabi Yo Icha Tohara Nityadasa Prati Tuya Adhikara. My Lord, I am now surrendered unto you. I am your eternal servant, and if you like, you can kill me, or if you like, you can protect me. In any case, I am fully surrendered unto you. Text 15. Atapanayas tamsva vidhina bishyahatena vasachadaya bhushana lepa shraktilakadbir upaskritam bhuktavantam dupadipa malyalaja kishayan kuru falo paharo petaya Vaishasa samstaya mahata gita stuti mridanga panava goshena cha purusha pasum badra kalya purata upavishayam masu. After this, all the thieves, according to their imaginative ritual for killing animalistic men, bathed Jaḍa Bharata, dressed him in new clothes, decorated him with ornaments befitting an animal, smeared his body with scented oils, and decorated him with tilak, sandalwood pulp, and garlands. They fed him sumptuously and then brought him before the goddess Kali, offering her incense, lamps, garlands, parched grain, newly grown twigs, sprouts, fruits, and flowers. In this way they worshipped the deity before killing the man-animal, and they vibrated songs and prayers and played drums and bugles. Jaḍa Bharata was then made to sit down before the deity. Purport. In this verse, the word svavidhina, according to their own ritualistic principles, is very significant. According to the Vedic Shastras, everything must be done according to regulative principles. But here it is stated that the thieves and rogues devised their own process for killing an animalistic man. The Tamasic Shastras give instructions for the sacrifice of an animal like a goat or a buffalo before the goddess Kali, but there is no mention of killing a man, however dull he may be. This process was manufactured by the dacoits themselves. Therefore, the word svavidhina is used. Even at this time, there are many sacrifices being conducted without reference to the Vedic scriptures. For instance, in Calcutta, recently a slaughterhouse was being advertised as a temple of goddess Kali. Meat eaters foolishly purchased meat from such shops, thinking it different from ordinary meat, and taking it to be the prasad of goddess Kali. The sacrifice of a goat or a similar animal before the goddess Kali is mentioned in Shastras, just to keep people from eating slaughterhouse meat and becoming responsible for the killing of animals. The conditioned soul has a natural tendency towards sex and meat eating. Consequently, the Shastras grant them some concessions. Actually, the Shastras aim at putting an end to these abominable activities, but they impart some regulative principles so that gradually meat eaters and sex hunters will be rectified. Text 16. Atavrishala Rajapani Purusha Pasur Ashrig Asavena Devim Bhadra Kalim Yakshamanas Tad Abhimantritam Asim Ati Karala Nishitam Upadade. At this time, one of the thieves, acting as the chief priest, was ready to offer the blood of Jaḍa Bharata, whom they imagined to be an animal man, to the goddess Kali to drink as a liquor. He therefore took up a very fearsome sword, which was very sharp, and, consecrating it by the mantra of Bhadra Kali, raised it to kill Jaḍa Bharata. Text 17. Iti tesham vishalanam rajastama prakritinam Dhanamada Raja Utshikta Manasam Bhagavat Kala Vira Kulam Kadarti Krityot Patena Svairam Viharatam Himsa Viharanam Karmati Darunam Yad Brahma Bhutasya Sakshad Brahmarshi Sutasya Nirvairasya Sarva Bhuta Suridha Sunayam Apyana Anumatam Alambanam Tad Upalabhya Brahma Tejasati Durvisahena Dandayamanena Vapusa Sahaso Chachata Shaiva Devi Bhadrakali. All the rogues and thieves who had made arrangements for the worship of goddess Kali were low-minded and bound to the modes of passion and ignorance. They were overpowered by the desire to become very rich. Therefore they had the audacity to disobey the injunctions of the Vedas, so much so that they were prepared to kill Jaḍa, a self-realized soul born in a Brahmin family. Due to their envy, these dacoits brought him before the goddess Kali for sacrifice. Such people are always addicted to envious activities, and therefore they dared to try to kill Jaḍa. Jaḍa was the best friend of all living entities. He was no one's enemy, and he was always absorbed in meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was born of a good Brahmana father, and killing him was forbidden, even though he might have been an enemy or aggressive person. In any case, there is no reason to kill Jaḍa, and the goddess Kali could not hear this. She could immediately understand that these sinful dacoits were about to kill a great devotee of the Lord. Suddenly the deity's body burst asunder, and the goddess Kali personally emerged from it in a body burning with an intense and intolerable effulgence. Purport. According to the Vedic injunctions, only an aggressor can be killed. If a person comes with an intent to kill, one can immediately take action and kill in self-defense. It is also stated that one can be killed if he comes to set fire to the home, or to pollute or kidnap one's wife. Lord Ramchandra killed the entire family of Ravana because Ravana kidnapped his wife, Sita Devi. However, killing is not sanctioned in the Shastras for other purposes. The killing of animals and sacrifice to the demigods, who are expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is sanctioned for those who eat meat. This is a kind of restriction for meat eating. In other words, the slaughter of animals is also restricted by certain rules and regulations in the Vedas. Considering these points, there was no real reason to kill Jaḍa, who was born in a respectable, highly exalted Brahmana family. He was a God-realized soul and a well-wisher to all living entities. The Vedas did not at all sanction the killing of Jaḍa by rogues and thieves. Consequently, the goddess Bhadrakali emerged from the deity to give protection to the Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that due to the Brahmin effulgence of such a devotee as Jaḍa, the deity was fractured. Only thieves and rogues in the modes of passion and ignorance and maddened by material opulence offer a man in sacrifice before the goddess Kali. This is not sanctioned by the Vedic instructions. Presently there are many hundreds and thousands of slaughterhouses throughout the world that are maintained by a puffed-up population mad for material opulence. Such activities are never supported by the Bhagavat school. Text 18. Brisham Amarsha Rasovesha Rabhasa Vilasita Brukuti Vitapa Kutila Damstra Rune Kyanatopati Bayanaka Vadana Hantu Kame Vedam Mahatahasam Ati Samrambena Vimunchanti Tata Utpatya Papiyasam Dushtanam Tenai Vashina Vivrikna Sirshnam Galat Shravantam Asrig Ashavam Atyushnam Sahaganena Nipiyati Panamada Vivhalo Chastaram Sva Parshadai Sahajago Nanarta cha Vijahara cha Shirakanduka Lilaya. Intolerant of the offenses committed, The infuriated goddess Kali flashed her eyes and displayed her fierce, curved teeth. Her reddish eyes glowed, and she displayed her fearsome features. She assumed a frightening body as if she were prepared to destroy the entire creation. Leaping violently from the altar, she immediately decapitated all the rogues and thieves with the very sword with which they had intended to kill Jaḍa Bharata. She then began to drink the hot blood that flowed from the necks of the beheaded rogues and thieves as if this blood were liquor. Indeed, she drank this intoxicant with her associates, who were witches and female demons. Becoming intoxicated with this blood, they all began to sing very loudly and dance as though prepared to annihilate the entire universe. At the same time, they began to play with the heads of the rogues and thieves, tossing them about as if they were balls. Purport. It is evident from this verse that the devotees of Goddess Kali are not at all favored by her. It is Goddess Kali's work to kill and punish the demons. Goddess Kali, or Durga, engages in decapitating many demons, dacoits, and other unwanted elements in society. Neglecting Krishna consciousness, foolish people try to satisfy the goddess by offering her many abominable things. But ultimately, when there is little discrepancy in this worship, the goddess punishes the worshipper by taking his life. Demoniac people worship Goddess Kali to obtain some material benefit, but they are not excused of the sins performed in the name of worship. To sacrifice a man or animal before the deity is specifically forbidden. Text 19. Evam eva kalu mahad abhicharati krama karchneyena tatmane falati. When an envious person commits an offense before a great personality, he is always punished in the way mentioned above. Text 20. Nava etad Vishnu data mahad adbhutam yad asambrama svashiras chedana apatite pivimukta dehadyatma bhava sudridha hridaya grantinam sarva sattva suridhatmanam nirvaranam sakshad bhagavatani mishari varayudhena pramatena taistar bhavai parira kshamananam tatpadamulam akutaschid bayam upastritanam bhagavata para mahamshanam. Shukadev Goswami then said to Maharaj Parikshit, O Vishnudatta, those who already know that the soul is separate from the body, who are liberated from the invincible knot in the heart, who are always engaged in welfare activities for all living entities, and who never contemplate harming anyone, are always protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who carries his disc, the Sudarshan Chakra, and acts as supreme time to kill the demons and protect his devotees. The devotees always take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore, at all times, even if threatened by decapitation, they remain unagitated. For them, this is not at all wonderful. Purport. These are some of the great qualities of a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. First, a devotee is firmly convinced of his spiritual identity. He never identifies with the body. He is firmly convinced that the spirit soul is different from the body. Consequently, he fears nothing. Even though his life may be threatened, he is not at all afraid. He does not even treat an enemy like an enemy. Such are the qualifications of devotees. Devotees are always fully dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Lord is always eager to give them all protection in all circumstances. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th Canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Supreme Character of Jaḍa Bharata. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 10 on Wednesday. Before we conclude, were there any comments or questions or anything to share, Chiragji?
No, Guruji. Thank you.
Krishna. I'm only servant of a guru, Chirag. I'm not a guru. But
Yeah,
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to. I need help serving my guru, and I'm trying to help others learn about the gurus too. But I'm very humbled that you're so much encouraging me like that. But I just want to say I'm not a guru.
yeah, Shivam actually told to not address you as a Guruji, but like say like Prabhuji. Yeah, but I uh get too confused between those two.
Yes, I'm. I'm not even a Prabhu. Prabhu means master, but somehow the devotees affectionately call each other like that.
Yeah, yes.
So it's very nice. They're so devotees are so merciful. Anyhow, Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Dev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Tirtha Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Jai,
All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Samabhaktiveda Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Giri
Jai,
Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai.
Jai,
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Bol.
Jai Bhakti Chirag Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai, and Krishna Keshav Das Ji ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Take care,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. You as well.